Right, tomorrow night, 8 p.m, Enzo Maresca's Chelsea take the trip once again to the Amex, where we face Brighton and Hove Albion. And just 6 days on from what I would personally rate as the worst Chelsea performance of this season, we have an opportunity for immediate redemption. Things will need to get drastically better, but I do believe that is very much possible. However, we have a lot going against us. There is an injury crisis now for the 15th odd season running. We obviously are without a recognised centre forward, and we are going to discuss all of that and discuss with you guys some of the options until the end of the season now for a makeshift striker. And here to do so with me is my friend who I have missed immensely, is channel fan favourite. It is the big dog. It is the best looking man to grace the podcast room in Barnes, Josh Aveste.
Wow.
These
what an introduction that
went absolutely wild for the new haircut. I'm sure the women did too.
Well, of course, whenever they ever not. You do me far too much of a disservice. I did a screen test the other day where I went into a studio and I had to film myself, and I've never felt uglier in my entire life. Well, whatever you want.
Yeah, what sort of studio was it?
It was a darkened studio.
You weren't lying on one of those beds with like a phone to your ear, a la Babe Station vibes.
No. What it was is there was a young girl, blonde, quite famous actually, in the middle of the room on a bed. There were 8 guys all around her, and I was in a queue. I can't remember. What was her name?
What was her name? Was it Lily?
No, it wasn't Lily. No, it was a colour. It was it's something to do with the colour of Chelsea. The colour that Chelsea wear.
Bonnie. Was it Bonnie Blue?
Yeah, that was it. To be fair, most people don't know her name.
And you only said there was 8 in there.
There was only 8 at the time.
That's better than the queue that Bevo stood in.
Yeah, fair enough. Don't Google Bevo's Pornhub videos.
Who does she support? Bonnie Blue.
She's not really into football. She's more of a rugby girl.
No, I got asked the other day
to be in the videos? Fucking hell.
No,
not again.
In the Q&A, right? By the way, if you guys have been tuning into the live streams, thank you very much, because we're picking up. The one the other day had quite a few good concurrent viewers in there.
I've really enjoyed your live streams, and I'm actually a bit annoyed that you haven't done them sooner, actually, because I think you've got a real talent for live content. I mean, you are going to get cancelled, but you know.
Yeah. I know. I'm 100% getting cancelled due to these live streams, because basically my whole thing on it is like, if you send it as a super chat, I don't care if it's a quid. If it's a super chat, I'm answering your question. So what I didn't realise when I said that, I said, look, the super chats I'll obviously prioritise. I'll answer the questions, anything you've got, whatever. I didn't realise that these lot were absolute filth in the head, and they were going to start
sending... They're called the hardcore for a reason.
They're called the hardcore for a reason. They are. They were sending me in some hardcore heavy shit, and I was answering all of it because I'm an absolute trooper.
Well, why don't you tell them about the next live stream then? When's that?
Well, we're planning.
I'm actually really upset about this.
We're planning on doing a live stream for the match, right? You're not available.
I'm really gutted.
You're not available.
I'm not going to be in the country.
Why? Because you've picked a woman over your friend.
Something
that I would never do.
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's
I'm
going to
be in
Barcelona or Real Madrid?
No, I'm going to be in Barcelona.
Oh, Barcelona.
Yeah.
I'm cheating on you next week. Do you know that?
Who you got in?
I've got Matisse coming in.
What?
I know.
What? But to be fair, who cheated first?
I've seen you doing a lot of cheating. To be honest. Did you do something with Matisse the other day?
I did, yeah. I was on one of Matisse's videos. Yeah, he asked me, do you know what? The way that it went, and don't quote me on this, because this isn't exactly how it went, but the conversation was, I spoke to Joey and he was busy, so do you want to come on instead?
Fuck off. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Dear. No, Matisse and I had a very nice...
I'm never busy.
Yeah. No, I think you were away, actually, but Matisse and I had a chat with Benson as well, but Benson was separate, so I didn't get to speak to him.
The Bence dog.
The Bence man. Yep. What a lovely group of Chelsea fans we have. We're all friends. Yep. It's nice because I don't think there are many communities like that. I think
best thing about all of us?
Big dicks.
That too, but all good-looking fellas.
Yeah, take it. I
can't
agree.
think of a bad-looking Chelsea fan.
No, I think we're all pretty coiffed.
We're all pretty well-groomed.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Thanks, Manscaped.
Right. let's get into the match. But first off, I want your opinion. By the way, tomorrow, we've got some treats for you. Tomorrow's a double upload day. I don't know what time the Brighton review will be uploaded, whether it'll fall past 12 o'clock, but let's call it a double upload day. It's double upload day.
No, I think it'll be before 12.
It'll probably be before 12.
I think it will.
Yeah.
You're getting pretty quick at this editing. You know all about the shortcuts.
Oh, I know
now.
my stuff. I know
Yeah,
my stuff.
yeah. Do you want to tell them what software you use for your editing, just for any curious minds?
iMovie.
Yeah.
And
I find that
have.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people would be surprised.
Yeah, but do you know what it is? What am I?
A simple man.
Creature of habit.
Yeah.
Creature of habit. When I like something, I like it and I stick with it.
It takes a long time to learn the new editing software.
There you go.
As well.
There you go.
Much like it takes a long time to learn a new football system or a new way of playing without a big number 9.
That wasn't really scoring many goals. Right. The news broke yesterday at the time of recording. Nicholas Jackson is out until April. Now,
you ruined my day when you told me about this.
you didn't even know, did you?
No,
you
ruined. I was very busy yesterday, and you had broken the news to me, and I have to say, you completely ruined my day. It really pissed me off, actually.
Well,
thanks.
There'll be some naysayers, by the way, who say, "Oh, well, he hasn't even scored in 8 games or something like that."
Say-nayers.
Say-nayers.
Yeah.
Is that what I said?
No.
But they'll say, "Oh, he hasn't scored in 8 games and whatever." But you can't deny that Nicholas Jackson is a threat up front. He's going through a dry spell. I didn't think that that dry spell would continue for that much longer.
Well, when Astrid stops calling you, you're going to go through the dry spells, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously missing her quite extensively.
Yeah, and I think she's never been through a dry spell herself.
Talking of missing certain people, I think we will all now give Jackson the respect that he deserves because we're going to miss him. I would say we're going to miss him more than any other player other than Moises Caicedo.
You don't know what you've got until it's gone.
Do you want to sing the song?
What?
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
I don't know.
Paradise. You don't know that song?
No.
Let us know what it's called in the comments.
No.
That is a quality song. Have you never heard that? Have you ever watched a rom-com? It's in every single rom-com in the entire world.
Plenty of rom-coms, mate. Plenty of rom-coms.
They built Paradise. They put up a parking lot.
By the way, it was awful. I didn't clock the movie you were on about was about a boy with Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic. I watch it all the time.
You couldn't even name it.
Single parents alone together. Single. Yeah.
Can't believe you didn't know that.
What
is the best Hugh Grant film?
Best Hugh Grant film
of all time?
Probably about a boy, mate. Probably about a boy. And it's criminal that I didn't know. But if not, it would be Notting Hill.
Yeah.
Notting Hill.
I think in terms of acting performance, I would go The Gentleman. Because he is fucking good in that.
Notting Hill is a good film, though. It's got Eyeball Paul from Kevin and Perry in it. Yeah, his flatmate.
Legend.
And he goes, "In a minute, I'm going to tell you a story that'll make your balls shrink to the size of raisins."
I love it.
He's Welsh.
I love. Sorry, I thought he was American with that accent. I didn't realise you were doing Welsh there. Fair enough. Yeah. I miss the Valleys.
What do you think about Nicholas Jackson being out, and who should be our number 9? We're going to get into the team sheets and we'll speak about it, but I think we've actually got a few different options. Now, the obvious one is banging in goals for AC Milan right now. Listen,
that's so true.
I've always felt that in terms of a number 9, I've always felt that João Felix is a more suited number 9 than Christopher Nkunku is. Clearly, I was about to say in the minority. I don't even think I'm in the minority, but clearly Enzo Maresca doesn't feel that because at every given opportunity, he was giving Nkunku the minutes as a number 9. And do you know what? When you look at the stats, this is where sometimes maybe one of me or you is wrong. Doesn't often happen.
We're never wrong.
Never really.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Doesn't often happen, but we can be from time to time. Or it could be a case of stats being misleading. 14 starts for Nkunku this season, Josh. How many goals?
14.
15 goals in 14 starts so far. All of those starts, by the way, have come from the number 9 position.
Yeah.
Who's
he been playing against?
Well, off the top of your head, who's the best team he scored against?
Did he score against Heidenheim? No, I don't think he did.
I think he did, actually.
Well, there you go, then probably Heidenheim.
No. There's a better team.
Go on.
There's a better team.
Go on.
Surprise package this season. Probably managed by probably your favourite part of a woman's body.
Espirito Santo.
No.
I don't know. Tell me. Tits.
You spend tits. You spend a lot of time playing around it. Areola, yeah. Bournemouth scored the winner against Bournemouth.
I mean, just to clarify, his name is Iraola, which is very different.
Not really.
Areola is the goalkeeper.
Sounds very similar.
He started against Bournemouth. You see, this is where you throw me off with the question.
He actually came on as a sub with Jadon Sancho, and Jadon Sancho did the hard work, and Nkunku sort of converted it. But I just put starts on there because it looks better. If you want the real stats, he scored fucking two Premier League goals in 20 appearances. So they're the real stats for you.
Misleading.
But a lot of them have been hospital minutes and whatnot.
Yeah.
So stats can be misleading. Other than that, second best team he scored against, I'd say, is probably Southampton. I say
Heidenheim must be better than Southampton.
Are they? Are Heidenheim?
They must be. Yeah, they're higher. Well, to be fair, they're not that high in the Bundesliga.
Okay,
but Southampton are rock bottom.
But before it, and this is the weird thing about football is like we just assume that his attitude shit. Like he might be absolutely grafting his bollocks.
Who
off.
said his attitude shit?
Me.
Oh, okay. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Well, if I was to say doesn't
body
look,
language.
if I was to say doesn't look like he wants to be there, isn't that me implying that his attitude?
I think there are games in which he looks like that, but I think overall I don't think he's looked like that.
Okay, fair enough.
To be fair,
overall, but I'm on about this season under Enzo Maresca.
I think even overall this season, I think there are games.
Do you think he enjoys having Enzo Maresca as the Chelsea manager?
No.
Or do you think he preferred having Pochettino?
I think he prefers. I think more than the managers, I think he prefers to play in certain positions.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think it wouldn't really matter on the manager. If you think about it, look what he did pre-season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair enough. But that's what I'd say. My main thing would be, obviously, this season I've questioned his attitude somewhat, and that's because he doesn't do what Jackson does. He did make a run in behind against Brighton the other night, but he doesn't make those runs in behind.
He'll never do that.
He doesn't. He doesn't try and sort of break the lines and create, and he doesn't press the ball anywhere near in the same fashion. Like,
can I just round this up?
His pressing is Bruno Fernandes-esque pressing.
To round this up, I've said this quite a few times in the last couple of weeks. I never want to see Christopher Nkunku playing up front for Chelsea ever again in any competition.
Wow. Well, that might elude us onto the team sheet. Good news is that we have recalled David Datro Fofana.
A lot of people, when you see this headline, think that is the solution to the problem.
There you go. And he's got Premier League experience.
He
looks good at Burnley. So the good news is that we have recalled David Datro Fofana from his loan spell. He plays as a number 9, so that's brilliant. The bad news is he's out injured for the rest of the season. So, there's always
not the best.
It always comes bad with some good. By the way, speaking of young strikers that we signed around that time, anyone remember a bloke called David Washington or David Washington?
I don't remember him. Do you know
what the fuck happened to him?
Do you know what's really weird about this? Is that I don't even know what's going on with him because people are saying that he's on loan. But I don't think it's been officially confirmed.
To who?
Santos.
He ain't on loan?
People are saying they were trying to do the deal in the deadline day sort of region.
No, he's not on loan.
But this is the thing. This is what people are saying. People are saying he's not even at the club.
I mean, he might.
The fact we don't even know where he is, mate, is a problem.
What is your favourite David Washington performance for Chelsea?
My favourite moment for David Washington is when I'm sat on the Chelsea app and I've watched the under-21 games.
I liked it when he came off the bench against Brentford and we lost 2-0. He didn't get a touch of the ball, but it was good to see him.
When certain youngsters, teenagers that we've had at Chelsea, you look at them and you go, fucking hell, they don't look like they're 18. They could be 25. You look at David Washington and you go, he could be 13.
He could.
You look at him and you go, he looks young.
Yeah.
Whereas there are other players that sort of
which is
really
literally why Clearlake signed him.
Yeah. They just go, let's just sign the youngest looking Brazilian that we've heard is half decent.
Yeah.
That's their strategy.
Brazilian sounds like your search history.
Sounds like your search history.
Yeah. Colombians are like. Let's move swiftly on. Right. So
It's not going to be David Washington.
No recognised number 9 available at the club at the moment. The recognised number 9 we did have only became a recognised number 9 about a year ago when we signed him. He used to be a left winger in Nicholas Jackson. We're left with a few options. Those options include, obviously, playing a wide man out front. There's many people that said, oh, well, Manchester City did it for years. Manchester City did it for a couple of seasons and they were successful playing without a recognised number 9. I don't think it's that straightforward.
I mean, they also had immense quality in those regions.
Yeah.
They had Julian Alvarez that could play as a number 9.
Yeah, and a half-decent manager that, has always been given the tools.
Probably the best manager of all time.
I don't know.
Where would he be in your top 5?
In the top 3. But he's not the best manager of all time because he wouldn't have took Aberdeen to a fucking European trophy, would
so
he?
Sir Alex gets the crown, does he?
Yeah.
Well, we all know the real answer to that.
What?
Best manager of all time.
Jose Mourinho.
Jose.
Oh, Jose, sorry.
Fuck me, shit. Yeah, you can't say that. You'll get
Pep couldn't have done what Sir Alex did.
But
Sir Alex Ferguson took Aberdeen, to a European trophy. Then he took over at Man United. They were rubbish.
Relegated.
Yeah. They nearly got relegated. Yeah. And then he batted off, and you know what? He didn't bat him off, really. Like, he didn't bat off Jose Mourinho because he didn't win the battle between him and Jose Mourinho. He just stayed in the hot seat until these guys left. But what he did do is he saw off Arsene Wenger. A lot of that was down to the Arsenal board. Yeah, the specialist in failure. A lot of that was down to the Arsenal board, not really backing him and whatnot. And actually, when you look back at Arsene Wenger's reign, it was a great achievement of actually what he was able to get out of that side. But Alex Ferguson also stayed for the Man City money era and still came out on top. So I don't think Pep could do what Alex Ferguson could do, but that's a discussion for another day. Now, moving back on to our number 9 options, before you give me a little inside scoop on a player that you've been keeping tabs on, let's speak about some of the other options. Right, people, I just want to quickly take this opportunity to tell you about new partners of the channel, Squawka. When you're in the YouTube industry like I am, there is a certain type of service that you could very much do with having on your side, and that is the service that stops you making blunders. And when I'm preparing for some of my videos, I use the website Squawka to use the player comparison matrix, and that helps me get a better understanding of comparing the players that I'm talking about. For example, a lot of you guys know that for every Chelsea game, I put out my preferred starting lineup, and I do look into the underlying numbers of the players I'm picking and the players that I'm comparing, and that's where Squawka comes in. They offer the best player comparison matrix on the internet. The website is so efficient and so easy that even I can use it. For example, when I'm picking from Chelsea's 30 to 40 odd wingers that we've got at the club, I can very easily jump onto Squawka and see how their stats compare. But you don't need to be a YouTuber to need to use Squawka. You could use it for your bets when you're betting on first goal scorer and things like that. It could give you a better indication. Or you could just use it to look like a genius down the pub, and we all like to do that, don't we? So thank you very much to Squawka for not only helping me prepare for my videos, but also partnering up with the channel. So help support me by supporting the guys that support the channel in Squawka. They are linked in the description for this video. Let's get back into it. There's an obvious one. There's an obvious option.
Is there an obvious option?
There's a very obvious option to play false 9, and that is Cole Palmer.
Yeah, Cole Palmer, who's been playing as the deepest one of the 4.
There you go.
Currently.
And if you're playing him in the 10, with his goal-scoring ability, now listen, I think it's not a crime, but I would have liked to have seen games where he started on the right wing for us this season. I think that he was the best player in the Premier League last season, offered the right wing, so I don't see why there's no reason why we couldn't have him there. Baffles me a little bit, but it is what it is. Do you think Cole Palmer could play as a false 9? One thing that I'll just quickly note for you is he doesn't use his head often, but I don't want us to go down the route of thinking like Cole Palmer can't be an aerial threat. Scored an amazing header. No, come on, mate. He scored an amazing header against, I believe it was Brighton last season or earlier on this season.
Remember that one,
really good header. Header in the Super Cup final for Manchester City. That was a header.
Oh, fucking hell, now we're going really far back.
Well,
so basically, you're saying in the last 3 seasons, he's had 2 headers.
Yeah, which is probably more than Jackson scored. And
Jackson is. We know that Jackson isn't a header of the ball.
Okay, so what's a massive difference?
Yeah, there isn't a massive difference. Fair enough. But saying that he's got aerial expertise is a leap.
No, I'm saying that that's not like
his biggest weakness. Yeah, fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fine.
In terms of hold up play and stuff like that, I don't think he's as good.
Do you
as
think
Nicholas
we
Jackson.
miss out on the negatives of putting him up front outweigh the positives of being in that area? Like what we lose in terms of general play.
Well, then it kind of depends on who you have there. Obviously, if we hadn't have sold Kane Chukwuemeka, I'd have probably had him there, to be honest.
What, in the number 10 or up front?
In the number 10.
Behind him?
Behind Cole Palmer.
Over
Nkunku. Yeah, to be honest.
Fuck, wow.
Is what it is. And Felix
That's
and whatnot.
brave.
But here's what I'm thinking. If he is a false 9, yeah. Now, at the minute, we've spoke about the fact that these wingers just kind of want to cut in, yeah?
Yep.
Now, at the minute, it doesn't work all that well because with Cole Palmer in the number 10, you'd want him to add a little bit of width. If he was in the number 9, that might actually work a little bit better because he might be there assisting the wingers. Then the problem is he needs to be a little bit more clinical because No. You need to be as in the team, the team in general.
Yeah,
out of, I think it's Jadon Sancho's last 22 shots at goal. He scored 2, I believe.
Fuck me.
One of them.
We've got to sign him, by the way.
Hey?
We've got to sign Sancho, as in it's an obligation. We are forced.
Why do you care about that? Sancho's good.
Jury's out.
Nah, I don't think jury's out, mate. I think Sancho's a good player. I think he's doing well. I think we're all going through a bad spell at the minute. I've got people online telling me, "Oh, Pedro Neto shit, Jadon Sancho shit, Noni Madueke shit." String 3 wins together, and you won't be saying that. Like, trust me, Jadon Sancho's a good player. Trust me, Pedro Neto's a good player. Noni Madueke's a good player. Okay, we're all right. Trust me, we're all right.
Okay.
A team is what you make of it. A team is what you make of it. It could serve as a way to bring those guys into the fold a little bit more, and maybe they're definitely Noni Madueke is one that I think has got more goals in him. I know he's only scored in his goals and assist tally isn't bad, but he's only actually done it in a couple of matches. I think 5 of them come against Wolves or whatever. But I do think that he's got the ability to grab a goal. And who knows? Like, we've seen the sort of pairing of Cole Palmer and Nkunku in some games. Very rarely we've seen it because usually the games that Nkunku started, number 9, Cole Palmer's been rested, i.e. Conference League where he hasn't been.
I personally think that pairing's looked shite so far.
It has looked shite, but maybe if you switch them round,
maybe
it might
work.
look a little bit better. Who knows? So I think that's the obvious one. I think the Chelsea fans would say that's the obvious one. Wingers wise, if you were to start a winger in that false 9, who would be your option? Bearing in mind, we can't name Mykhailo Mudryk at this moment in time. We'll speak about him later on in the episode. Can't name Mykhailo Mudryk. So you're looking at Jadon Sancho, Tyreek George, Noni Madueke, Pedro Neto. Out of those guys, who would you...
Do you know what? Last week I said Pedro Neto on a video. I think it was Matisse's video, and I got absolutely pelted in the comments for saying that.
Really? What, as a false 9? Or
I said, as a false, as a number 9 replacement, as someone who can come in and make the difference between now and the end of the season. Which I don't
understand why you've got pelters for that.
Right, so let me set my stall out for why I put him there. He's a bit of a fox in the box. He's a poacher. He's probably the best shooting, has the best shooting ability out of all of those options.
All of those things, yeah.
And I think also, I think he's a poacher. I think he's that kind of player. He's pedal dexterous.
Which means?
Ambipedal is the word.
He can shoot with both feet.
Yeah.
Where
did you get pedal dexterous from?
Which Craig said it on the kickoff ages ago. But which for a number 9, the ability to shoot with both feet, when you're not going to have that long, you ain't got time to think about it too much. I think that is something that's
really good. And he's going to run in behind. Yep. He's going to do what Jackson does because he wants the ball over the top and stretch defenders, which Christopher Nkunku would never do. Mm-hmm. And neither really does Cole Palmer want to do. Cole Palmer doesn't want to run onto the ball and get shots away. But Pedro Neto would do that. I think, honestly, he's probably the best equal option to what we've got left now, or the second best.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think that we would agree that Jadon Sancho is probably the worst option for that one.
Yeah, I think Tyreek George is probably better than him. So Noni is, for me, the one that I think we should now really consider. He has played up front in the England youth categories. He has played up front. He usually did that off the bench, but he has done it. And I think, again, if you're thinking about getting shots away, running in behind, I think that's Noni's game. And I think sometimes when we have Noni on the right, he holds onto the ball for a bit too long. He stands players up. And actually, if you think about it, that's kind of what you want number 9s to do. I want Noni to get the ball over the top. I want him to control it, keep it for a bit, hold on to it, and then pass it back, like to a Palmer in behind him or an Nkunku behind him. And I think Noni can do that role. I do think that Noni is probably the best option that we've got.
Would it be such a overly optimistic stretch to say that this could help us stumble upon a recipe to success?
I think it could. Like, think about the way that Noni plays. He's an arrogant player. He loves to score goals. Yeah. Quite selfish. And I mean all of these things in a positive way. Like that's kind of what you want as a number 9, is it not?
Yeah.
Like, there are moments in which Jackson has passed, in which I've wanted Jackson to shoot.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I think Noni would just shoot.
Yeah.
Which I rate. So yeah, I think we could stumble across something. I don't think it's going to be the long-term solution. I think we're going to suffer. We'll score less goals overall. Yeah. I still think it's probably the best.
I think if Noni gets that chance against Manchester City, he don't try and cut it back. He shoots.
Yeah.
That Jackson got.
Which do it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you throw a wild card at me?
So we've got a young player in the academy. We actually guess what academy we signed him from? He's from Birmingham, but that's a complete misnomer. So don't think of a Birmingham-based team. Think of a team in which we love to steal players from.
Brighton?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Came from the Brighton Academy. His name is Shim Mayuka. He is.
Have we seen him? He played off the bench against Astana? Yeah.
Played in Astana, which was the worst conditions that I think we'll ever play a football match.
Yeah, and I didn't really have enough time to properly keep an eye on his performance, but I remember the commentary team, for what it's worth, saying that he was highly touted.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's 17, I think. He's going to make loads of mistakes. He's definitely not Premier League ready. But we're in a position now where he needs to be on the bench at least, don't we? Like, the way that I see him is he's a quick, strong, I think he's a very technical player. I think he's a very smart player. I think he makes the right decisions. And now, like, if you look at his record, by the way, he hasn't scored loads of goals in PL2. I think he's had 11 starts, 2 goals. So it's not crazy. But there was another in the Youth Cup, and I think in the under-18s, I think he scored more goals than he's played in terms of starts.
That's pretty good.
So that's a good record.
Can I just remind you of some history, right? And I hate to use these.
We ain't got no history, mate. That's what they keep telling us.
Yeah, apparently so. We never won any trophies under Ken Bates. I hate to use these as the example, right?
Yeah.
But let's look at Man United, right? Over the years, especially more so when they were successful. There are strikers at Man United that came in literally not because they were highly touted or anything like that, doing so well that they broke into the team. They came in because of injury crises, right?
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking Danny Welbeck. I'm talking
Rashford.
Marcus Rashford. I'm talking Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Maybe Mason Greenwood, the more sort of highly touted out of the ones.
People knew about him.
People knew about Mason Greenwood, but definitely more so like Danny Welbeck, Marcus Rashford. It never worked for him, barring the debut and the next match he scored in. But Makeda, you know what I mean? Like there are players, and these guys, barring Makeda, right, have forged careers for himself and successful ones, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with chucking a guy from the youth team into the mix and saying, fuck it, let's see what you can do. Because ultimately, right, had it not been for the Mark Yu injury, what would we have done? What would we have done right now had Nicholas Jackson gone injured? Would we have gone Christopher Nkunku at number 9 till the end of the season? I don't think
if Mark Yu was fit?
Yeah.
Oh, we'd be playing Mark Yu.
We'd be playing Mark Yu, wouldn't we?
And rightly so.
And that's really, despite the fact he came on and scored a winner for Barcelona last season, is he all that much different to the kid that you're speaking about?
No, not
What's
really.
his name again, sorry?
Mayuka. Yeah, Shim Mayuka.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I'll be up for seeing it.
If you look at what Arsenal are doing with, Ethan Nwaneri, I mean, fucking hell, like, I mean, obviously, very different levels between this guy and Nueri, but fucking hell, like, give them a go. Like, look how good that kid looks in the Premier League, 17 years old. Why not risk it?
Yeah.
We got nothing to lose. We know that Nkunku is not a striker. We know that Cole Palmer isn't a striker. Look at Middlesbrough last season. We're wasting Cole Palmer. And so if you're not going to play Noni there, which I think would be mad.
Or Neto.
Then go for one of these guys. At least put them on the bench. The fact that we didn't have him on the bench for the last game, for the FA Cup game, was mental.
So, just to quickly read you out the list of injuries that we've got at the moment. Jackson, he's looking at out until March. Gu,
do we know anything about that?
To be announced, but Maresca initially stated that his injury was worse than Jackson's, and Jackson's out until March. So Romeo Lavia, still a bit unclear, but we're hearing March at the earliest. Even if so, he might be back for a match or two. He might go out injured again, you don't know. Yeah. Wesley Fofana, I'm not optimistic we're going to see him again.
He reckons he's going to play before the end of the season, but fuck that.
Yeah, but will he be up to scratch?
Just rest him.
I don't know. Badia Shield could be back this month. More than likely next month.
Would he get in your team?
What, Badia Shield?
Straight away?
Not straight away. I don't think defence is where we're most, I don't know. As of yet, no one knows what's happening with Mikhailo Mudryk. He was obviously included in the Conference League squad.
Yeah, why do you think they did that?
Through pure lack of numbers.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Unless they have some inside information.
I think there might be some information there, because otherwise, why would you register him?
Possibly. But
maybe that's wishful thinking.
Going down, a little bit of wishful thinking, a little bit of, I don't know, conspiracy. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think, like, we're gonna do an episode which will drop pretty much in the morning.
Yeah. About the board.
About the news that's come out about Roman Abramovich, which made me sick to my stomach. And about sort of transfer strategy and whatnot. So we'll sort of get into that. But there's a lot of PR around Chelsea that I'm not happy with at this moment in time, to be honest.
There's a lot of PR briefings going on around Chelsea,
and do you remember
which I think is worth talking about in the next video as well.
Do you remember what we got called once?
Apologists?
No. Toxic positivity. Are we toxic positivity?
Not anymore.
I don't think so. I think we just try and have a laugh.
Yeah.
But the PR briefings,
yeah,
I think you could maybe label that as a toxic positivity, isn't it?
There's a lot of toxic positivity coming in for the PR teams. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, win this game, no matter what, we will stay in the top four. Not only that, Manchester City are playing Newcastle this weekend, which is good news because someone's dropping points.
Who do you think is going to win that one? Call it now, quick. Gut.
So I said from the start that I thought Man City were going out of the Champions League. I said on the stream that I did the other day, anyone that was watching, I said Mbappe wouldn't score in that game.
Let us know if you would rather Joey streams during certain games as well, because I think you're missing a trick there. You could have done that stream during the Man City game.
I'm trying to, but the only problem is when I plug the charger in, it doesn't charge. So I've only got the battery life.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, so
we'll sort that out.
Really hard one. We'll try and sort that.
Yeah.
And the fact I'm only getting audio in one ear. Either way, you lot don't mind. I think that a 2 draw. Man City.
I reckon, is it a Newcastle or City?
I believe it's at Newcastle. I'm not sure.
If it's at Newcastle, I'm going to say Newcastle win that.
There you go. There you go. Now, Brighton are a good side, right? But
they are.
I mean, mate, like before
it's at City, by the way.
They had played us. It's at the Etihad.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 draw, I'd say.
Yeah.
Before they had played us, 3 wins in 13 games in all competitions. Similar record to us, by the way. And those wins, though, had been like those 3 wins were all against lower level opposition in all competitions. We're talking Norwich, we're talking Ipswich, we're talking Man United. Do you know what I mean?
Some teams can beat Ipswich, you know.
Yeah, there you go. They had just been pumped 7-0 by Nottingham Forest. Maybe that would have got them up for it a little bit. But it does sort of beg the question: what's to stop them doing what they did to us last weekend again?
There's nothing stopping them. I mean, that's probably the most realistic result, isn't it?
Well,
that they win. That is the most. If you're a betting man right now, I don't see why. If you're putting on a bet with Stake, mate.
Well, if you're Enzo Maresca and you say that, you know, we're prioritising the league and the Conference League.
You look like an absolute mug if you lose this game.
There you go.
He's going to be under it. If he loses this game, mate, there will be sections of the fan base saying Maresca out. There will be.
Not for me, because I think that a lot of it comes down to boardroom level, and we're going to speak about that in the video that will drop tomorrow morning. But I do understand that. I'm going to quickly run you guys through our team sheet on screen now. You can see we've gone with Philip Jorgensen in goal. To start, Robert Sanchez will be a crime, and then there will be some serious questions in there, because whether you start him and he makes a blunder, he has a howler, or he has an exceptional game, the writing is on the wall. It is only one, at tops 2 matches before he starts seriously costing us points again. Reece James, we're a little bit unsure on the fitness of him. Hasn't been pictured in training, I'm not sure. But if we're going on Enzo Maresca's word, he isn't injured. He is available and he's been training as usual. So I will have him in there at right back. I'll have a centre-back pairing of Trevor Chalobah and Levi Colwell. Cucurella at left back. He will invert, joining up with the likes of Caicedo and Enzo. And we have gone for Nkunku in the 10. He really needs to shine here. He really needs to show us something. Otherwise, I'm really just thinking about bringing a fucking academy kid in and giving him the minutes instead. Noni Madueke over on the right wing. Pedro Neto on the left wing. I would not mind those two swapping as the game goes on, and maybe Noni coming off, Jadon Sancho coming on. And we're going to try it. We're going to experiment. Cole Palmer as the false 9. I actually mentioned those two guys swapping. I wouldn't actually mind Cole Palmer being moved onto the right wing, for example, and then Noni Madueke coming off, and the boy that we spoke about from the academy coming on. So that is our lineup. Now, Josh, please hit me with saying I'm going to like here. Give me a score prediction for this one.
I can't promise you that you're going to like my score prediction.
Oh.
I can't.
You've not yet this season backed us to lose a match. You've gone with a draw quite a few times. Yeah,
I'm too positive, mate. You know, toxic positive.
Positivity.
I think, and I can't bear to even think about a loss, but I think this probably will be a draw.
Really?
Yeah, I think this will be. I'm going to go 2-2.
I think Enzo Maresca's men are going to get the job done against Brighton. I think we're going to win it 2-1, and then I think, despite the fact that we've had. Who's going to score?
Yeah.
Cole Palmer.
Yeah. And Cole
Palmer.
Yeah. Cole Palmer, 2 penalties.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, he's got form. The goalkeeper is obviously really good.
Yeah.
You back that goalkeeper for Bruggen against Cole Palmer.
Is he a full-on number 1 for them, or do they sort of...
No, for Bruggen's 100% the number 1.
Really?
Oh god, yeah, he's absolutely that number 1.
Okay.
They're gonna sell for Bruggen for like 70-80 million.
Probably
he'll go to somewhere.
Probably to us.
or to Man United or something like that. Yeah.
There you go. Oh well. I'm
Another
back
deal for Brighton.
I'm back in a 2-1 win. Either way, people, make sure you're locked into the video coming tomorrow morning, where we're going to speak about the news of Roman Abramovich's sanctions being disregarded now. All of a sudden, now the fucking damage is done. We're going to speak about the board and how they're running the club at this moment in time, and I will obviously be putting up my post-match review as soon as that Brighton game is finished. I'm going to try to do a live stream. Keep your eyes peeled on Instagram and whatnot, because I will update you on that as it goes on. I'll see you all in the next one.